Spirited is an upcoming American Christmas-themed musical comedy film directed by Sean Anders and written and co-produced by Anders and John Morris. Starring Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, and Octavia Spencer, the film is a modern retelling of Charles Dickens' 1843 novella A Christmas Carol. Spirited is scheduled to be released in select cinemas on November 11, 2022, before its streaming release on November 18, 2022, by Apple TV+. Early life. Ryan Rodney Reynolds was born on October 23, 1976, in Vancouver, British Columbia. He is the youngest of 4 sons. His father, James Chester Reynolds, was a Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman before retiring from the force and going to work as a foods wholesaler. His mother, Tamara Lee, worked in retail sales. Reynolds has 2 brothers who work in law enforcement in British Columbia, one of whom followed his father into the RCMP. His paternal grandfather, Chester Reynolds, was a farmer who represented Stettler in the Legislative Assembly of Alberta from 1940 to 1944. Reynolds has Irish and Scottish ancestry, and was raised in the Roman Catholic Church in Vancouver's Kitsilano neighborhood. Reynolds has been involved in acting since age 13. He graduated from Kitsilano Secondary School in 1994, which he attended with actor Joshua Jackson. Reynolds played small roles in a number of television series, but became discouraged and quit acting at age 19 to enroll at Kwantlen Polytechnic University. A few months later he ran into fellow actor Chris William Martin, who convinced him to try again and move with him to Los Angeles. Career. 1991–2003, early work. Reynolds's career began in 1991 when he starred as Billy Simpson in the Canadian-produced teen soap opera Hillside, distributed in the United States by Nickelodeon as 15. In 1993, Reynolds played a child who moves from India to Canada after the death of his father in the film Ordinary Magic. Between 1993 and 1994, he had a recurring role in The Odyssey as Macro. In 1996, he had a supporting role as J. Boom-da-Boom in Syzygy, the 13th episode of the 3rd season of The X-Files, and co-starred with Melissa Joan Hart in the TV movie Sabrina the Teenage Witch. In 1996, Reynolds played Bobby Rupp, boyfriend of murdered teen Nancy Clutter, in a 2-part miniseries In Cold Blood, an adaptation of Truman Capote's non-fiction novel of the same name. He also appeared in the anthology The Outer Limits episode Origin of the Species, which originally aired on November 14, 1998. Beginning in 1998, Reynolds starred in Two Guys, a Girl, and A Pizza Place, playing medical student Michael Bergen, throughout the show's 4-season run. He starred in the National Lampoon movie Van Wilder in 2002, appeared in The In-Laws with Michael Douglas and Albert Brooks, and also in the Canadian production Foolproof in 2003. 2004–2015, romantic comedies and widespread recognition. Although he had performed primarily in comedies, Reynolds underwent intense physical training to play an action role as the character of Hannibal King in the 2004 film Blade, Trinity. The same year, he made a cameo appearance in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle as a nurse. Reynolds played George Lutz in the 2005 remake of the 1979 horror film The Amityville Horror. Also in 2005, he played a waiter named Monty in Waiting, and appeared as music executive Chris Brander in the romantic comedy Just Friends alongside Amy Smart and Anna Faris. In Just Friends, Reynolds lip-synced I Swear over the end credits. Additionally, he played an FBI agent alongside Ray Liotta in the 2006 crime-action film Smokin' Aces. Reynolds played the protagonist in the 2008 film Definitely, Maybe. He also appeared in the 2nd season finale of the television series Scrubs. In 2007, Reynolds guest-starred as Brendan's friend Hams in the episode Douchebag in the City of the TBS sitcom My Boys. Reynolds portrayed Wade Wilson/Weapon 11 in a supporting role in the prequel 20th Century Fox X-Men film, X-Men Origins, Wolverine, which was released in 2009. He had previously spoken of his interest and involvement in a possible film adaptation of Deadpool with screenwriter David S. Goyer as far back as 2005. 2009 also saw Reynolds portray Andrew Paxton, opposite Sandra Bullock, in The Proposal, and Mike Connell in Adventureland. In 2010, Reynolds starred in the Spanish and American thriller Buried, which screened at the Sundance Film Festival. In June 2010, Reynolds was invited to join the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Reynolds portrayed the Hal Jordan version of superhero Green Lantern in Warner Bros. Film Green Lantern, which was released on June 17, 2011. The film did not fare well either financially or critically, but his role made him one of the few actors to headline films based on both Marvel and DC characters. In 2011, he co-starred in the comedy The Change-Up, as well as narrating the documentary film The Whale. In 2012, he portrayed an agent in Safe House, alongside Denzel Washington. He then had starring roles in two DreamWorks animation feature films, The Croods and Turbo, both released in 2013. His next role was portraying Nick Walker in the Universal Pictures film adaptation of Dark Horse Comics' R.I.P.D., which was released in 2013. Reynolds went on to star in low-budget films, The Voices and The Captive in 2014, as well as Mississippi Grind the following year. This was followed by a supporting role in the financially successful biographical film, Woman in Gold, before he returned to the thriller genre with Self/Less, also in 2015. 2015-present, established actor and Marvel work. In 2016, Reynolds found critical and commercial success with Deadpool, a film that had been in development as early as 2000. After portraying Wade Wilson/Weapon 11, without the name Deadpool, in X-Men Origins, Wolverine, he became heavily involved in the development of a Deadpool film. Deadpool featured a reboot of the character, ignoring the events of X-Men Origins, Wolverine, and establishing a new backstory for the character that was closer to the Marvel Comics source material. The film takes place within the larger 20th Century Fox X-Men film universe, being made possible by the reset timeline in X-Men: Days of Future Past. Deadpool made several box office records, including a worldwide opening of $264.9 million from 62 markets, which is the biggest of 2016, the biggest for an R-rated film, and the second biggest for Fox, only behind Star Wars, Episode III: Revenge of the Sith. It also recorded the biggest IMAX 2D worldwide opening of all time with $27.4 million from 606 IMAX theaters, eclipsing The Dark Knight Rises. The film's financial and critical success led the studio to move forward with a sequel. Also in 2016, Reynolds had a supporting role in the Ariel Roman-directed thriller Criminal. On December 15, 2016, Reynolds received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame at 6801 Hollywood Boulevard. Reynolds co-starred with Jake Gyllenhaal and Rebecca Ferguson in the science fiction thriller Life in 2017, which reunited him with Safe House director Daniel Espinosa. Reynolds began filming Deadpool 2 in June 2017. The film opened on May 18, 2018. In May 2019, he starred as the titular character in Pokémon Detective Pikachu, a live-action film adaptation of the Detective Pikachu video game. Reynolds voiced, and was the facial motion capture actor for the CGI Detective Pikachu. In January 2019, Reynolds was named the face of Armani Code, leading with a campaign for their obsolescence. Also that year, he starred in the Netflix action thriller film 6 Underground, directed by Michael Bay. The film was released on December 13. Reynolds is an executive producer of ABC's game show, Don't, which premiered on June 11, 2020. In January 2019, it was announced that he would return as the voice of Guy in the sequel to The Croods. The film, The Croods: A New Age, was also released in 2020. In 2021, Reynolds starred in 3 films. The first, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, is an action comedy film directed by Patrick Hughes and written by Tom O'Connor and Brandon and Philip Murphy. The film is a sequel to the 2017 film The Hitman's Bodyguard, which also featured Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, Salma Hayek, and Richard E. Grant, who reprised their roles. Beginning April 2019, Reynolds shot his second 2021 film, science fiction action comedy Freak Eye, directed by Sean Levy, from a screenplay by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn, and a story by Lieberman. Reynolds stars as a background character who realizes he's living in a video game. With the help of an avatar, he tries to prevent the makers of the game from shutting down his world. Also featuring Jodie Comer, Lil Rel Howery, Utkarsh Ambedkar, Joe Keery, and Taika Waititi. The film was theatrically released in the United States on August 13 by 20th Century Studios. In his last film of the year, Reynolds starred alongside Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot in Netflix's thriller Red Notice, written and directed by Ross and Marshall Thurber. In October 2021, Reynolds announced he was taking a little sabbatical from his work after the production of Spirited. In March 2022, Reynolds starred in Netflix's science fiction adventure film The Adam Project, directed by Sean Levy. Business ventures. In January 2018, Reynolds started the production company Maximum Effort and signed a 3-year first-look deal with Fox. Maximum Effort is in development on a live-action adaptation of the board game Clue, to be penned by Deadpool writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. On June 23, 2021, the marketing division of Maximum Effort's production was spun off as a separate company, and acquired by MNTN Software. Reynolds is the driving force of Maximum Effort and has created ads for a number of his film projects and for brands such as Peloton and RM Williams. Reynolds acquired a stake in Aviation American Gin in February 2018. He stated that his interest went beyond that of an owner, and that he planned to oversee the product's creative direction as well as taking an active role in the business. In November 2019, Reynolds purchased an ownership stake in Mint Mobile. It was later revealed that Reynolds owns between 20% and 25% of Mint Mobile. He joined the board of Match Group in July 2020. In August 2020, Diageo announced it was acquiring Aviation American Gin in a deal valued at up to $610 million. On September 23, 2020, the Wrexham Supporters Trust announced that a business partnership consisting of Reynolds and fellow actor Rob McElhenney was in talks to purchase the Welsh football club Wrexham AFC. On November 16, it was confirmed that Reynolds and McElhenney took over the club after receiving the backing of the Wrexham Supporters Trust. In February 2021, the Financial Conduct Authority approved their takeover of Wrexham. The process of Reynolds and McElhenney's investment in Wrexham was covered by the 2022 TV documentary series Welcome to Wrexham. As soon as Reynolds and Rob McElhenney became involved with Wrexham AFC, they also took interest in Welsh culture, specifically their use of Welsh language, with them first advertising their club takeover with a Welsh translator. Reynolds asked that Welsh subtitles be included with his Netflix movie Red Notice, which was also advertised within Wrexham. On May 3, 2021, Ryan Reynolds was part of an investor group led by Greylock Partners that made a $750 million investment into Wealthsimple. Reynolds' exact ownership amount was not disclosed, but this investment round valued the Canadian financial startup company at $5 billion CAD. Public image, work, and recognition. In October 2008, Reynolds wrote for the Huffington Post regarding his plan to run the 2008 New York City Marathon for his father who, at the time, suffered from Parkinson's disease. Reynolds appeared in People's Sexiest Man Alive lists in 2007 and 2009, and was awarded the top honor in 2010. On February 12, 2012, Reynolds appeared on the BBC's Top Gear as the star in a reasonably priced car. He posted a time of 1:43.7. On the May 13, 2018, broadcast of the South Korean reality television show King of Mask Singer, Reynolds had a special performance in the opening act, singing Tomorrow. For his work, Reynolds has received widespread recognition and accolades. After having a role in the Canadian drama series Hillside, he was nominated for a Young Artist Award in 1993. For his role as Deadpool in the 2016 Marvel film of the same name, he received the Critics' Choice Movie Award for Best Actor in a Comedy and a Golden Globe nomination in the same category. For the soundtrack of the 2018 sequel, he received a Grammy nomination for Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. His other achievements include 3 MTV Movie and TV Awards, 3 People's Choice Awards and a Saturn Award. Charity. In May 2020, Reynolds was among a group of celebrities who read an installment of Roald Dahl's children's fantasy novel James and the Giant Peach in aid of the global non-profit charity Partners in Health, CO founded by Dahl's daughter Ophelia, which had been fighting COVID-19 in vulnerable areas.